Hello, my name is Ilona. Today is Friday, February 3rd, 2023, and I just want to start with some articles I found and I think are very interesting. The first one is from Newsweek from January 30th, 2023. It's time for the scientific community to admit we were wrong about what's been going on for the past 3 years and it cost lives. Very interesting article where he admits that I was wrong, we in the scientific community were wrong, and it cost lives. I can see now that the scientific community, from the CDC to the WHO to the FDA and their representatives, repeatedly overstated the evidence and misled the public about its own views and policies. So it's very interesting that this conversation is actually put out there. And also talking about people that were speaking out, doctors that were speaking out, they were pushed to the side, they were criticized, their opinion was suppressed. He's all talking about that. So this is a very interesting piece. People can actually react to it. And I think this is an important part that this is brought out so people can talk about this. Another article which is interesting, mainly for the Netherlands, but something about the smart cities. I did a video about smart cities, and I already mentioned I don't think it is logistically possible anymore to do that, because you really need people in a fearful state, and the dark energies of course had way more control like 3 years ago. So if they actually planned it then ahead and pushed this through, this might have been able to actually work. They might be able to implement it, but now it's not going to work. So there's a city here in the Netherlands. They tried to become a smart city, but they are now quitting that. They're like, this is not worth all the hustle and the fuss. And so that's very interesting. So we already have a city in the Netherlands that's quitting the smart city. And I think that's a sign on the wall. They don't have that power anymore, and there are too many people waking up. Like I mentioned before, if they'd done this a few years earlier, if they kind of pushed it through then, when they really had people in their houses. And to me this seems, and this shows, that the dark energies don't have that much power anymore. It's falling apart. People are waking up. There are obviously always going to be a group of people that are not going to wake up. But the people that are understanding something is wrong, they will resist it. That group is becoming bigger and bigger. And like I've mentioned before, someone who is conscious and, really works with their energy is way more powerful than someone who is not consciously working with their energy. So I'm not afraid of that at all, that they actually be able to implement the smart cities. They will try, and I think they are still working out things in other countries as well. But I think that this is not going to work out. And it's really just to wake up people and to make them see really what's been going on all this time. So that's a good thing. Again, here in the media in the Netherlands, they try to make sure people don't pay attention that much to the excess mortality anymore, because for the first time in almost a year, there have been several weeks no excess mortality apparently here in the Netherlands. So interesting, this article. Don't look there anymore. It's not that interesting. So you can see the media still trying to spin some stories, but I think it's going to have a different effect than what they are hoping for. The second thing that's also very interesting and very common, I think, worldwide, is that someone that investigates, or at least for the environment, researches and inspects, I think that's the correct word, is an environmental inspector from a certain area where Tata Steel falls. That's a company here in the Netherlands, and they are, well, quite known for things with the environment. And well, apparently this environmental inspector is now working for Tata Steel. Yeah, nothing suspicious about that at all, obviously. I'm sure here in America and worldwide, especially in the pharmaceutical industries, you see that with the FDA, people that are working for the FDA that investigate, of course, medicine and medication like that. And then suddenly they have a job at the same pharmaceutical company that they actually used to check, and they get a lot of money for that. So I'm sure nothing suspicious about that at all. That's very, very normal that you first check the company and then you go work for the company. Interesting. But they put that in an article, so I thought, oh, that's interesting. They actually show, how do you say this? Emphasize that because people are reading that now. So the last thing I want to mention. This is really bizarre news. This is about a Chinese balloon flying above America. It's even in the Dutch paper, so that's interesting. It's apparently there to seek information. It's in the west of the United States. It's above Billings, so in Montana. And very interesting enough, it's a huge balloon. Like, I think pretty much anyone could see it from the ground. So we are in this massive technological, if you just look at all the inventions, the cameras they can make, there are like as tiny can be. They've got drones that can fly under the radar. They have all these incredible technologies. What do they send a big giant balloon? And of course they know it's from China. It says made in China on top of it. Apparently there's also one flying above Canada. So this falls to me in the ridiculous news. This is really about waking up people. Like really, like they would actually send that. So it's interesting what's going to happen with that. But I just thought it was hilarious. Well, what I'd like to discuss and the shuffling of the cards I did in my Dutch video is that someone actually asked me, who also has a Telegram channel here on Telegram. It's more of a Dutch channel, a lot of information on it. And Nederlands Verzetskanaal is the name. And he asked me a few questions about Thailand, which I thought was very interesting. Because in Thailand, there is a professor, Sukarit Bhakdi, is working with the Thai authorities to nullify the contracts concerning the stinks. The princess of Thailand actually collapsed 23 days after receiving the booster and because of a heart problem, and apparently is now in coma. And there's a video about this as well, that they're sending information to the royal family to warn them that this most likely has to do with the sting. So this is very interesting. So his first question was, what is this going to do to Thailand and the energy in Thailand? Because the royal family there are practically the same level as, well, very high level. A lot of people are following them and everything the royal family says goes. So this could be a very interesting development in waking up the Thai people. What I've read is that there is a lot of, how do you say this? They follow along very much the Thai people. Not everyone, but there's this energy of complying and what the royal family says goes sort of thing. So this is very interesting. What does this mean? Will this help wake them up? So the cards I got was the Page of Cups. That's the first card. The central card is the Hermit. Card in the past is the Six of Wands. Underneath the Hermit there is the Nine of Swords. And for the near future, the future, we have the King of Pentacles and the Strength card. And as I was shuffling, I was looking at the back of the deck and my attention was drawn to the Queen of Wands. Very interesting. I think the Whiteheads are showing this information and try to help out with nullifying the contract. I think this is an opportunity for the Thai people to really see what's going on. So it has to do with waking up. It's also for the Thai people to return inward and finding answers inside of themselves instead of outside of themselves or outside authorities. So this is helping them also returning more inward. And I do think that the royal family is also looking for answers inside of what is going on, like with the doctor that I've mentioned, and not with the company and following their lines anymore. So I think this is going to be very important. And of course, a lot of stress and anxiety, and of course what's happening now with the princess. I hope that everything ultimately will be fine for her. But this is a horrible situation. So there is a lot of stress involved. And I think this is really opening up the royal family as well, seeing what's going on, especially because it's so close for them. Of course, they're princess. So I think this will lead to a rising and awakening of Thailand, and this will also have an effect worldwide. We see that things will come out of what's going on, that this will bring more information out about the stings, information. This is like the King of Pentacles is very practical, so I do think that it will be done very practically, and this will help the Thai people to become their own authority again, to really connect with their own strength again, instead of looking outside, instead of being reliant on things outside of themselves. So I think this is very, very important. It will wake up people. It will start, of course, with the truths about the stings. This will come out most likely. I do believe that the royal family will help along with that as well. That's the feeling I'm getting, especially with the King of Pentacles. That's a very practical way of doing things. So I think things will come out about that, and that will have an effect worldwide. The next question was, they're starting to hopefully be able to nullify the contract, because a lot of governments agreed to having the stings, but the company would get immunity. They won't be able to get any claims if there's any damage from that. And the question was, will this lead to other claims? Now, the cards I got was the 9 of Pentacles, the 10 of Swords as the central card. We have the 10 of Cups in the past. We have the Fool card underneath the central card. We have the High Priest and the 4 of Pentacles. I thought this was a very interesting combination, so I pulled another card as to clarify this, and that's the Death card. So I think people are getting together to become independent. I think more groups around the world, I think a lot of things are happening, trying to get these claims against these government companies. And of course, they'll be looking at the governments as well, because why did they allow this to happen? I think this will lead to other things. And I think there's already decisions are being made to do this. I think there are already organizations gathering evidence to really claim things and to really get these companies and get this out in the open, because this will lead, of course, to more revelations that there really is something wrong with the stings. And of course, obviously, by that time, there won't be any denying it. And that will open up a completely new world and a new way of looking at things. This will open up to more truths, because why did the governments just went along with this? Interesting is in the near future, I think this is very possible and very likely. This is like my card for the dark energies, and we have the 4 of Pentacles. They're trying to hold on to these contracts. They still probably try to pay off if it's still possible. I think they're completely losing the narrative, and they're kind of falling short on money as well. But I think this is really very interesting. They still try to hold on to this structure that they are untouchable and nothing can be done, but it's completely falling apart. This is falling away. The Death card is about all things falling away and a new beginning. And especially with this card, these are 2 cards of new beginnings. I think this will help so much in spreading truths, in getting things out, in getting justice, because this will lead to claims. Claims are going to lead to trials, and of course will lead to other things, because let's face it, claims don't even cover what has happened and all the horrible things this has caused. So it will lead to completely different things, and that will be necessary. I truly believe that will be necessary, and I'm talking about tribunals. That will be necessary. So this is the information I got about this. I hope to see you in another video. Bye.